my name is Anna. I am your self-worth coach, and today we're going to learn a couple ways on how to stop comparing ourselves. Comparison is judging ourselves to the perception of another person. And I want to emphasize on the word our perception, because we never know what another person's life truly is like in their eyes. For instance, we might see someone on a yacht and automatically think, wow, they must have it all. They must be so happy. I wish I could be as happy as them. Dang, why does my life suck so much? Or maybe we see a picture of people in a relationship and we think, wow, they must be a perfect couple. They must never get into fights. Why can't my relationship be like that? Or maybe we'll even be like, oh, I'd never be able to get that type of relationship. Sure, they could be happy, but this person could also be super miserable and we could not know. I want you to think in your life. You likely know someone who posts pictures of their relationships or of their lifestyle, and yet they are so unhappy with their life, or maybe with their partner, they get into fights all the time, but they post picture perfect moments of their life onto social media. Yet we create all of these stories within our heads, and it is the stories themselves that we make up that cause us so much suffering. We compare our everyday lives to people's highlight reels, and that's what they are, highlights of their life, not their real life. We'll be sitting on the couch in our PJs with a snack, and then being on our phones watching people dressed to the nines, and think, dang, they're so pretty. I wish I was that pretty. Why can't I be that pretty? And in that moment, we forget every single wonderful quality about ourselves. All of it goes out the window. And this is because we're so focused on what's outside of us. We begin to buy into the belief that something outside of me will make me feel whole. But this is an important reminder that everybody, no matter what they look like, no matter how much money they have, no matter how perfect their life looks, everyone goes through all of the emotions because we are human, and that is our inherent nature. When we feel envious of other people, it's because there's a part of us that feels like we can't be or have that. But what it's really wanting, that part of you that's feeling envious, what that part's really wanting is the feeling that it think it would get by having or being that. What you're really wanting is the feeling of being in their shoes. But feeling deep joy and aliveness doesn't just happen on a yacht or the red carpet. It can happen at any time, just by becoming present to all the wonderful things that exist in your life right now. Now, for all of you that say, but if I was there in their shoes, even if they're not happy, I would be happy. Think back to all of the times in your life where you wanted to be exactly where you are right now, or have wanted to reach the goals that you've already reached in your life. Maybe it's getting into your dream college, or maybe it is getting that dream job, or having reached all of the goals that you have already reached now. There's a past version of you that really believed that once I got to that goal, then I would be happy. I will be happy forever. I'll finally have made it. My life will be complete. But are you? Are you happy? Did it create a lasting sense of happiness? More likely than not, that feeling only lasted a couple minutes, maybe hours, maybe even days, maybe a week even, I'll give you that. And then the feeling slowly started to dissipate. I'll never forget one of my own moments of this was where I was like, I will finally be happy once I am on my beach vacation. That feeling will never leave me, and I will be happy forever because I would have gone to the beach of my dreams. And when I got there, I remember it was almost like my brain was glitching, because my brain was like, you're supposed to be happy right now. How come you're not happy? Like, you should feel good. You should feel this sense of fulfillment. What's happening? Because when I got to that beach, it was like, wow, this is so pretty. But then as I stood there, that feeling started to slip away. And I could tell my brain was trying to understand what was going on, because it had created such a beautiful image of what it would be like to be on this beach. One of my favorite quotes is, wherever you go, there you are. Wherever you go, you take your mind with you. You take yourself with you. And so if we think that once I go over there, once I move over there, but you inherently are not happy with yourself, you're going to find unhappiness wherever you go. And so the solution is to really be able to connect from within, connect to that sense of happiness that's already within you. And yes, there is a well of happiness within you that is waiting to be unlocked. And that is my mission for this channel, to help you reach that. When you depend your sense of happiness, your sense of self-worth on something that is outside of you, you will never get there. You will never feel a lasting sense of that. You will feel like it's never enough. And you'll always feel like you're never on solid ground. So what's the solution? I know that sounded depressing, but what is the solution then? There has to be a solution, right? Don't leave us hanging like that, Anna. Yes, I got you. Don't worry. I'm not going to leave you hanging there in despair. The solution is to learn how to source that happiness, that peace, that joy, all from within you, instead of depending it on something outside of you. This way, no matter where you are in life, you will always feel enough as you are. Now, before I get into the tips on how to actually overcome comparison, let's do a little recap. So you can see comparison as creating a story about someone else's life and making ourselves feel bad. Remember to not compare your normal life with people's highlight reels. It's simply not a fair comparison. It is not fair to you to compare yourself to something like that. And number 3 is discover your inner fulfillment. Otherwise, you're going to find lack in everything that you do and everywhere you go. Once you find inner fulfillment, you will be able to feel a sense of peace no matter how chaotic life is on the outside. And that's the power that I teach my clients, and I would love to begin teaching you. Now, before I move on to the next tip, if you want to receive mind, body, and soul wellness tips delivered straight to your inbox once a week, then make sure you click the link in my description box and in the comment section below to receive my weekly wellness newsletter called Align and Uplevel. The Align and Uplevel newsletter is really curated soul wellness tips from my heart to yours. Really, my intention for this is to help you become your best self. It includes actionable weekly wellness tips, and it's more like a window into my life. So if you'd like that, go to the description box below, and I'm excited to connect with you. Now let's move on to how do we actually stop comparing ourselves? So the first question I always ask myself and my clients is, why are you comparing? Because we wouldn't feel the need to compare if there wasn't something missing from our lives, or at least we think that something is missing from our lives. So when you find yourself comparing, I want you to pause and be like, hold on, where is that part of me that feels like it's comparing? Okay, maybe it's in my heart area. Okay, like, why are you comparing? What does it wish it could feel? It's likely that this part of you that is comparing really wants to feel something, and it's not getting it from you. And so just ask yourself, is it love that it's missing? Is it to feel seen and acknowledged? Is it to feel worthy and celebrated? What is it, right? And then you practice, okay, how can I give that to myself? How can I see myself, right? How can I acknowledge myself? How can I celebrate myself? Whatever that part is seeking, give that to that part. And then asking yourself, how am I already what I see in others? So I have a personal story that I'd love to share on this. There was a time where I was comparing myself to a lot of people that I was following on social media. And I remember there was a particular person that I really was envious of. I really admired her. And I was like, dang, like, I really wish I could be like her. I was starting to feel really jealous. And I had to pause and be like, hold on. Okay, what is this part actually wanting to feel? And when I tuned in, I noticed, oh wow, this part wants to feel the feeling of what I thought that girl was feeling by being super well known in the community, by being very celebrated and loved by her friends. And I turned that to myself. Okay, how can I celebrate myself now? How am I already worthy of the love that I am looking for? What do I think she's feeling by being so popular, by having so many friends? And I realized that part just wanted to be seen. I had been looking so much outside of me that I wasn't tuning into myself and seeing me. I kept looking outside of myself and never finding the answer. When this little part of me is like, here, I'm here, like, look at me, I'm right here, right? And so when I finally decided to turn my focus on back to myself and be like, wow, I see you. You are amazing. You are wonderful. And really celebrating myself. Like, wow, you did this. You are this. You've grown so much. I love this quality about you. You are so kind to people. You are so loving. Just really celebrate that part. Suddenly, I wasn't envious anymore. I was rather inspired. Because when we are feeling envious or jealous, it means that there's a part of us that feels like we can't have that. But envy and inspiration are actually two sides of the same coin. They are the same thing, but it's just what energy is behind it. When it comes to envy, it is a more negative energy and a lack energy versus feeling inspired is like, wow, like I can do it too. And I feel called to do it because I think I can. That's more positive. One has belief in ourselves and the other one has no belief in ourselves. Just notice the difference. If you want a video on that, comment below. I'll talk all about the differences or how to unravel jealousy and envy, and I'd love to make that for you. I know a lot of people get caught up in that, so let me know. The second tip I want to share with you on how to overcome comparison is acknowledge your wins, but sit with the feeling of being celebrated. You always hear celebrate your wins, acknowledge yourself, which is great. It's amazing. But what often people miss is after they write down the list, they go immediately back to their life of being like, oh, but I'm not good enough. Like, I still have to do this. No. We have to slow down. So when you write your wins list, of all the things that you've accomplished, of all the things you're proud of yourself for, sit with each. Be like, okay, I love that I am a loving person. And then just sit with that and just feel it. I would encourage you to take at least 20 to 30 seconds to let each bullet point marinate within you. When you sit with that part of you, you allow the part of you that doesn't feel enough to see and really see for themselves that you are incredible. Because what often happens is that there's a part of us that is kind of lagging behind. We might see, oh, we're awesome, we're great. But then there's still a part of us that is more slower to realize. So we have to give space and time for this part to also catch up to our knowing that we are incredible people. And the next tip is to see how it is actually possible for you. See these people who have or are who you want to become as proof that it is possible for you to do it too. So if you think it's impossible, I want you to flip the script. How is it actually possible for me to do this? And it might take some thinking to generate some thoughts to create evidence, but our brain is so brilliant. It will always come up with evidence to show the opposite of how it's actually possible. And if you really can't think of any, that's okay. Challenge yourself to be open to life showing you how it is possible. Sometimes we can just ask for help from the universe, from life, from God, whatever you believe in, and just allow life to show you that it is possible. Because when we open ourselves up to possibility, life will mirror that back to us. So just being open to it. You don't have to fully believe in it. Just being open to the possibility of it allows it to come into our lives. And the next tip is to heal the root cause of your comparison tendencies. Maybe your habit of comparison actually stems a lot deeper. Maybe growing up, your parents always constantly compared you to other people. Or maybe you found your sense of belonging by constantly comparing yourself to others around you. Just noticing, okay, like what are the patterns that are here? And do I notice that maybe my parents or caregivers also do this pattern to themselves? It could be a generationally passed down pattern. And if you discover that that's the case, which a lot of times it could be, subconscious reprogramming is super helpful. So that could look like subconscious coaching, which is what I do, inner child coaching, which is also something I do. There's EFT, meditation, journaling, hypnosis. There are many ways to work on the subconscious, but a lot of times if you find yourself in a pattern or a habit of comparison, then usually it is linked to our generational patterns or how we've been raised. If you have any other questions on comparison, comment them below. If you want to become your best self this year, check out this next video. I'm your self-worth coach, Anna, sending you so much love, and remember, you are safe, you are loved, and you are worthy. Bye!